Evening, guys. Yeah. All right. Good evening, guys. My name is Fisaya, like Emmanuel has just introduced. Yeah. I'm one of the software engineers at. Please, don't call me Sir Fisaya. I'm just Fisaya, please. You can just call me Fish. I beg. So yeah, because I resonate more with just Fisaya or just my nick. Yeah. So I'm one of the software engineers backend, to be precise, at Wella Health. Yeah. So it's an opportunity to be able to take you guys tonight. I'm supposed to be, yeah, I'm one of the tutors on this program. I've not been available for some time now, and I'm very sorry that I was inactive. But from now on, yeah, me and Imani are going to be running the program like concurrently, like to see how things are going to be done. Yeah, I hope you guys can hear me, Sha. Hope I'm not too. Please signify if you can hear. Somebody's net shaking. Emmanuel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I think his network is bad. Hello, Fisaya.
Okay, no problem. Okay, I'll just continue since
just go ahead.
I can get. Yeah, I can see some messages that some people can say that
I can hear you, sir.
All right, no problem. Okay, so the topic of tonight is going to be MVCs, right? MVCs. I don't know if you guys already have like Imani already told me that he has given like an introductory class on MVC that he has briefed you about just the folder structures, basic, yeah, about MVC. So MVC, like let me just reiterate on the whole concept of MVC. So it's more like a design pattern that is in the .NET framework that you can use to build web apps and then APIs, right? So MVC, like the name, is Model View Controller, and it helps in, and the main components it has three main components: as models, views, and controllers. Yeah. So I can share my screen to like show them how to create a project, right? How it works, isn't it?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I can share my. Okay, all right. So let me know when you guys can see my screen. Okay. Let me do this. Okay. Let me just create a new project. So I'll just create a new project, right? So that you all can, please let me know when you can see my screen though, so that.
Just to point out, Fisaya is working with Visual Studio and not Visual Studio Code. So,
so
basically, if you want to create an MVC project on your Visual Studio Code, just go with the method I used in the previous class. However, the code will still be the same. So it will continue from here.
Okay. All right, cool stuff. Thank you for that. Yeah, so I use Visual Studio for my development project. That's for my development on that's for .NET projects. I don't use VS Code, but it's pretty much the same thing, like the folder structure and everything. So the command lines are used, the commands are used for creating like .NET projects, right? Visual Studio just helps you to like bootstrap everything all at once. So you can just be able to, so like, as you can see now, instead of having to do like in the normal Visual Studio Code, you have to write .NET, new, blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you just come here, you select, and then you'll be able to see the templates that you want to use. So all these are templates here. So now, so this is ASP.NET Core Web App. Then, as you can see, they say it's a project template for creating an ASP.NET Core application. Then this is the API, this for the API. But we'll be focused more on MVCs. So let's search for ASP.NET MVC. Yeah. So this is it. Yeah. So ASP.NET Core Web App is a project template for creating, with example for core MVC views and controllers. These templates can also be used for the RESTful HTTP services. So we click on next. We can call this. Let's call this. What can we call it? Let's just call it Wella Health School MVC. Yeah, MVC. Okay. Yeah. So click on next. Then we choose .NET 6 as a framework. We set our authentication type to none because we don't really do authentication because that's not our focus. Then yeah, we leave everything that is there as configured and don't enable Docker. Then we click on next. So it's creating our project now. Yeah. So like as you can see, our project has already been created. The name of the project is Wella Health School MVC. Let me just run you like a brief through again on the folder structure based on what Imani has already told you. So now this is the dependencies. So any dependency that you create for your project, everything is being stored here. Yeah. Then the properties. So by default, it always has this properties folder with the launch settings.json where each of these settings for your run as for your engines, IS Express, that's your server, IS Express, the profiles and all, everything is being stored here. That's your local port and everything. So then anytime that you run, it picks the one that you are currently that you are running on. So for example, now this is I think IIS Express by default. Then www is like the web like the base web root folder where we store our CSS files, our JavaScript files, our lib files. Lib files can contain Bootstrap, just external frameworks that we want to put in our library. That's where this library file. That's where we have all of this. So you can see Bootstrap, jQuery validation unobtrusive. All these files are stored here. Then our JavaScript files is whatever I want to do as regarding the Java. So I'm basically not a front-end engineer too, so I'll just be showing you like basic stuff on how you can be able to link your MVC. That's your because this is a backend session, but I just want to be able to show you how you can be able to use ASP.NET Core MVC for in building web applications. So then this is where your CSS files comes into play. Then our focus for tonight is these three folders in the light of it. So we have controllers, we have models, we have views. So by default, anytime you create like an MVC project, you have this controller, this home controller by default. Then it also has this default area view model class there. Then it also has views. So now the whole concept of this thing is views. Anytime you create a particular controller, you can create a view from that controller that you want. So each controller has its own home tied. Each controller has its own folder view in the views folder. So you can see this home controller now, it has a home folder that is tied to this controller. So if you have something like, let's say, Wella Health School controller under controllers, it would have its Wella Health School controller folder and then have its views. Its views have its extension with .cshtml. .cshtml, that's C# HTML. So C# HTML is it uses the Razor template engine to be able to show data that you need in your HTML file. So that's the extension for rendering Razor pages and all that. So we have index.html here and then privacy.html as default files under this home folder. Then this shared folder is a folder that is shared across all controllers. So let's say, for example, we have home controller, we have like home controller, home 3 controller, home 4 controller, and so on and so forth, right? Anytime that we want to have views, that we want to share those views across those controllers, we can dump them in this shared controller. So like this layout now. So layout.cshtml is used across all controllers. So there are times whereby you're building like a web application, right? And then you need like a nav bar and you need like a footer there about that sort of number, and then you have like a footer, or then maybe you have like content in your body that you want to like you want them to be rendered across different views. So because those things are shared to different views, you need to dump those the configurations inside the shared folder. For example, now this underscore layout the CTTP is like it's used across all views. You can see here we have like the nav bar, then we have like the render body. That's the main content that goes into this place. So that anytime that we go across all views, we can be able to see this nav bar there, and we can also be able to see this footer there, and then our body is going to be rendered. Yeah. Mind you, this shared folder is also prefixed to it. So because of how .NET is, right, and the MVC framework, everything has its own styles for naming folders and naming files. So under the shared folder is prefixed with like an underscore. So anytime that you want to name a particular file inside this shared folder, you prefix it with underscore, then put the name .cshtml. Like as you can see now here, we have an underscore layout.cshtml, and then we have an underscore validation base script partial, and then error.cshtml. So that is just like the basic flow about that's the basic thing about this shared folder. So then the next is our app settings or JSON. I'm very sure like you guys have like a bit of like understanding about app settings. I don't know if Emmanuel has taken you through APIs yet, but app settings is just where we configure like our settings, anything that we need in our project. So anything that you need that has to do with like your settings and all that stuff. You dump all of them in this. So like let me say connection strings, or maybe you want to do like a third-party integration, and maybe you just want to do any sort of settings. You have to just put that this is where you dump all the settings, and you dump everything in your app settings, and your app settings or dev.json. So development for development purposes, app settings like for production purposes. Yeah. And then you, of course, you set all this on your hosting server, or where you want to define all your connection properties, and then link all of them there. Yeah. But when you deploy, you can be able to take the key value pairs based on the settings that you already have in your app settings. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So from .NET 6, right? So from .NET 6, Microsoft already allocated the startup.cs file, and then they introduced the program.cs, where it's like a base like this. It's like the startup. Yeah. So it's the engine whereby anytime that you run any of your project, right, everything is being routed to this program.cs, and then whatever that you set in is being taken up and then built. So you can see this builder.services.add controller with views now, right? So then this thing comes in, this var application comes in and says it's a web application. So because it's a web application that we are building, for there are different, this program that says not always going to be like this. So because this is a web application that we're building with the concept of MVCs in mind, as the model views controllers, you can see that we have builder.services.add controller with view. So it's trying to say that this adds services for controllers to it adds services for controllers, and then we build it. Then views are being created, and then you can now define your web application and then say this builder.build, so that it comes to this program.cs at the first start that you run the application, and then it comes there, it checks for this service to the container. If it sees this service added to the container, it knows that this is an MVC project, and then does all what it's supposed to do, and then builds it. Yeah, and then comes down here and then runs the application. Yeah. So it has other app, the middlewares. You can see this one, they use routing, they use static files. So you use static files is when you're serving static file for your current request paths. That's when you have all these files that have to do with your CSS, HTML, and basically just your image files and all that stuff. So you know that you have you could probably have in your HTML documents, you could probably have like an image tag and all that, and then you reference all those things. So all those things are static files you get. So it comes there and then checks for all those files and then saves them up and be able to render those files that you need. Yeah. And then, of course, your app will use routing can be able to, because you know that you want to, it's a web application, right? And then you want to go through, you want to different through different pages of the web application. Like there might be different pages. Like it could be something like dot. It could have index. It could have other views too. So this app that uses routing there is just to help to route from different views to other views and be able to go to the web application circle. Yeah. Okay, so now let's just run this project and see how it looks first of all. Yeah, so you click on um, the run project on your Visual Studio, and then yeah. So as you can see, it has already run, and this is the first page that you see. Bella Health School MVC, home, privacy, welcome, learn about building web apps with ASP.NET. So let me just take you guys to the Visual Studio to show you where all that can be found. As you can see okay, I think I'm not sharing. I don't know if you guys have seen what I don't know if you guys saw this page or
No.
Okay, you didn't see it. Okay, let me reshare some other pages. Problem was just
Back.
okay. Oh, Emmanuel, I thought you were gone. Okay. All right.
No, I wasn't.
Okay, so
Sorry,
let's
my internet went out.
all right, no problem. It's fine. All right, so let's continue. So like I said, like it comes to this home controller, right? It first comes to this home controller. Checks this, it checks this index, it checks this action, sees an index, and then saves that view. So this index is a view. So if you come here and come to this place here, index, view, it already sees here. So it has two different actions. It has two different actions. It has the index, it has the privacy. I can be able to view each of the views. You can see that time that I was trying to tell you guys, whereby you have each controller, that this home controller has its view folder attached to it. So now, anytime that you see this home here, you have an index here, your index view, and then you have your privacy view here. So index comes here under this home control, under this home view, and then also the privacy under this home view. Now, when we now come to this index view here and we check go to view, you can now be able to see this home page. You can see this part that you saw, welcome, and then building web apps with ASP.NET Core. That's what you can see here. Welcome, learn about building web apps with ASP.NET Core. Yeah, learn about building web apps with ASP.NET Core. So that's what that thing just did. So welcome. But I'm just going to show you. I'm still going to show like in practical how it's done. You get. I just want to show you guys how they were able to have the default views that was being created by the MVC framework. So yeah, so that's how it is. So then one more other thing, right? So we have in views, right? We have different types of we have views that can be used in the ASP.NET Core MVC applications, right? So we have different types of, you can create views in different ways, right? So like initially I said that views that are specific to a controller are created in that view slash the controller name, and then the views that are shared among the controllers are placed in the view slash the shared folder. Yeah. So the razor markup I told you guys, it starts with the @ symbol now, and then you can be to use it to run your C# statement, placing your code within the razor code blocks. Yeah. So like as you can see here in this part now, we started with a razor. Let me increase my screen so that you can get to see it. So we started with this @ sign here. You can see this @ sign here. I don't know if you can see my screen, right? Hello. Okay. So this is this @ sign there is like a razor markup. It starts with the @ symbol, and then you can be able to write whatever that you want to write. Yeah. So now, how we have different ways of how controllers can specify views. So basically, like views are returned from actions as a view result, or which is also a type of action result, right? So and then you can have different, so in our home controller now, where we have action results that this. So in this our controller where we have action results, right? So as I said, views are typically returned from actions as a view result, but the view result is a subtype of action result. So this action result now helps you to, like this view result. If you hover on this view, you can see something that they call view result. It returns a view result, and this view result like is a subtype of action result. So if you check down here, if you check like more, you can be able to see what you can return on your view. So you can see this view result here. You can return view. You can just return view. You can return view with a string. You can return view with an object. You can return view with a view name, and so forth and so on. Yeah. So that's just like the basic stuff. So anything that you want to return in your view, it is a subtype of action result. Okay, so let's go from there. So the next, let me show you just like some practical examples more. Okay, so then there's what we call view discovery, right? So view discovery is, I just want to explain like the whole concept about view discovery. So there's when an action returns a view, right? An action. So this action here, so this is an action, public action result index. And so when this action returns a view, the process is called view discovery. So it determines which view file is used based on that view name. You get my point, right? So the default behavior of that view method is return view. Is to return a view with the same name as the action method from which it can be called. Yeah. Then the main focus of this class actually is to just tell you guys on how to pass data to views, because like we'll start from here, and from here I'll be able to show you how you can be able to link passing data from controllers to views, and then you create your models, then you get those models, you can now you can get those models, store them in your controllers, and now pass those controllers to your views. You get. So that's like the whole concept of MVC, how they relate together. So now we have two methods, like processes of how we can be able to pass, or let me use approaches. We have two approaches on how we can be able to pass data to views. We have like strongly typed data. Strongly typed data is where we define our view model. And we have the weakly typed data. The weakly typed data can consist of two types. We have the view data and we have the view bag, right? So now strongly typed data, is what I'm going to be. I'll teach you strongly type data. Now, I'll teach you both of them, how you can be able to use both of them, strongly type data and then also the weakly type data. So like I said, the strongly type data uses the view model, and then the weakly type data uses the view data and also uses the view bag. But then the robust approach in specifying or rather the most appropriate type in using your views is the view model. Like you can be able to do that. Okay, this is the type of data. So why they call it strongly typed data is you can be able to know the kind of data that you're sending to your view from your controller. Because the weakly type data that has to be the view data and view bag. So view bag is dynamic, and then the view data uses like a view data attribute for it to be able to specify. So if you, so for example, so what I mean by dynamic is, so dynamic in the sense that if you use IntelliSense, right? You use IntelliSense to be able to get what you want to do, like to be able to run what you want to run on your code. You might not necessarily know the type of data that you want to send from your controller to your view. And then when you could as a developer, right, come to your view and then write like another property is not based on that view bag, and then at the end of the day it will drop an error. But then when you use like the other concept of strongly typed data as a view model, it helps you, so you can be able to know the type of data that you're sending from your controller to your view. Yeah. So let's start with the strongly typed data. Then after that, I will now move to the weakly typed data. Then you guys will tell me the one that you prefer at the end of the class. All right. Okay. So now let's stop running this. Let's stop running our code. Yeah. So you people can see it. You can see that it created the default one for us here. It created an error view model. We are going to create like a new one. Then I'm going to show you how it runs. Emmanuel, I think this recording is going to be ending in 7 minutes, 8 minutes. So probably you need to like record again or thereabout.
Yeah. I'll need to end the call and start it again. So
end the
why don't we
meeting
do that?
rather, end the meeting and yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So everyone just join back in a couple of seconds.
Oh, you want to do it now?
If you want to continue.
Hello?
Do you want to continue or should
Okay,
I do it
we can
now?
do it now. Yeah, sure, we can do it now so that if everybody joins, then I'll just continue with the class. So,
all right then. Yeah, so everyone just join back in a couple of seconds.
All right.